Hello and welcome to part 8 of the Complete Beginner's Guide to Blender 3. In this episode we're looking at the lighting and creating the atmosphere. Do remember to check out the playlist on this channel or my website for more great content. Now we want to think about the lighting, so let's go across to rendered mode. At the moment we've got 3 lights in our scene. I've got one here, which I can't select because I'm in edit mode for my torch, so let's go into object mode, select my light up here, and that's giving off light here. But we don't really want that, but we want an emission for our street lamps ideally. So we can come into our street lamp, into edit mode, select that face, and I'll zoom in on that with period key on my numpad, and we can make this face an emission. But it might be a good idea if I inset it first, so I to inset, so it's got an insetted face like this, and then that face I can add an emission to. So let's create a new slot. So there's slot 1 which has our metal grey material. We can create a new slot. Now we could select our torchlight material there, but we might want them to be slightly different in terms of brightness and things. So I'll create a new one called lamplight. Again, emission maybe slightly whiter this time, bit yellow but slightly whiter, and a nice big emission strength. Not assigned yet, so we have to come to the slot section, and with that face selected we press assign. Make sure the lamp's selected as well, of course. Now you can see it's updated on the other side as well, so that's great, and it's looking quite fun. So if you haven't already, catch up with me and put an emission texture onto the underside of your street lamps. So we've now got 4 emission textures in our scene: the torch, the eyes, and the street lamps. We've also got this light here. But before thinking more about lighting and rendering, I want to set up the fog because that will make a big difference to our lights. So let's set that up now. I'll go back to layout mode so it's a little bit easier to see. And there is a couple of ways to do this, but the best way is to create a big box that encompasses all our scene and we put fog inside it. So Shift A to add, cube, scale it right up. Now I made a mistake there, so try and think what the mistake was that I just made. I added it in edit mode, and there's 2 of them because it's an instant object, so this lamp's got a box there and this lamp's got a box there as well. So I'll just undo my changes there and go back to object mode and add in my cube. So Shift A to add and then cube. Scale that right up. Let's go to top view first and put it into position, and then front view and scale in the Z axis this time, and again move that into position. Okay, so we can't see our objects at the moment, that's a bit of a pain. So we can come across to the object properties here, and under viewport visibility we can change it to display as bounds. Then we only see the bounds of our box rather than the solid. So back to bounds, then back across to the shading tab. Let's give it a new material. So this time we're actually going to get rid of our principal BSDF for this. So select that node and press delete, and Shift A to add, or you come up to the add menu here, Shift A, shader, and there's something called principled volume. So let's move into there, and instead of going into the surface, we attach this to the volume, and suddenly it goes all very dark. That's our density. We can bring this right down. We can sort of play with this a little bit. I wouldn't go overboard with this, but 0.1 is probably enough to add some subtle fog in there, and already it's looking quite fun. So here's another good time to pause and add in your big box of fog. Now the problem we have is in eevee, our emissions aren't actually giving off any light, it's just the bloom that's making them look like they're giving off light. So the bloom's great, but with eevee we need to actually put some lights in where these emission textures are. If you're using cycles, let's jump across to cycles now, that does use these lights as actual light sources. I'll change to my GPU so it speeds up a bit, but you can see there's a huge amount of noise. We can turn the max samples up, and that slowly decreases the noise. We can also use things like the denoising options. I do find it's a good idea to save your work at this point, because in the past I've had glitches with my graphics card and the denoising, so just be aware of that and save your work. So if I tick the denoise, we get the denoise option. It does a pretty good job of getting rid of these fireflies here and here, and we get a pretty nice looking scene. And it's nice and realistic using cycles. However, for most people they'll probably be wanting to use eevee, then you can get an animation nice and quickly without having to spend days to render. So in order to fake that kind of lighting, we can use things like these point lights or spotlights and position them next to our emission textures. So let's go to top view and move our lights into position. I'll create one there, and I want an instance of this. So Alt D and move that to my other spotlight just there. So any changes I make on this one will update on this one. So you can have linked lights like this as well. So if I go to lighting here and change the light brightness, they're both updating. I can also change it to a spot, so they're pointing down like this. I'll select both and rotate them around the y-axis so they point exactly down like this, and G to grab and move them up. And it looks like I'll need to do it around the x-axis as well, but I'll need to do individual origins. Probably a little bit more yellowy color there. That's great. Now with the spot options, you can change the spot shape. So there's the size, which gives them a wider casting net, and the blend, so it sort of blends from the middle outwards. And I think something like that looks good. If I click away, then we can see the effects a bit more. We'll do the same with the torchlight. I'll copy one of these, not with a linked duplicate, but just a normal duplicate. So Shift D and move that into position next to the torch. Zoom in just a touch. And let's come to front view, and we'll go to wireframe for just a moment so I can put that right in the middle there. And back to rendered mode. Now to show a point about the shadows of lights, I've come to my final scene again, and I've got my spotlight selected. Under the light settings you have a shadow option here, and there's a clip start. If I zoom in a touch, you can just about see the beginning of that clip start there. If I click and adjust that, you can see that point changing as I move it. So if I zoom right in on my object and come around to the side here and press G to grab and move my light inside my torch, I can then change my clip start to make sure that it comes outside of the torch, and therefore the torch isn't giving off any shadows. So make sure you put that up and have it outside of your torch so your light is shining. If I have my spotlight outside my torch like this, you get this kind of sharp point which doesn't make sense. So you need to bring it inside a little bit but change the clip start. Okay, so here's where we got up to. We can also grab this yellow dot to point it at things, so I could move this out just a touch and point it at the actual monster like this. And we're starting to get a bit more atmosphere now. So pause the video and put in your spotlights for the street lamps and the torch. The last emission we have then is the eyes. So Shift right click, Shift A to add, and we got our light options down here. Probably a point light is going to be the easiest here. And we'll give it a nice red color and start upping the strength a little bit until we see something we like. So that's looking pretty fun now. Now if you want to see your scene without all the guidelines, you can turn the overlays here off and on, and that will give you a good measure of what your scene's going to look like. And to reselect anything, make sure you turn the overlays back on and you can select your objects. I think changing the density of the fog will help us. It's probably a little bit too much at the moment, so 0.05 maybe. A bit more subtle. Turn the overlays off to see what's going on. That's looking quite good. Now the last light I want to put in is a kind of moonlight, so it doesn't look quite as dingy. So Shift A to add, light, and then a big area light. Can't see it at the moment because I haven't got my overlays on, so I'll turn that on. G to grab to move it right above my scene like this, and scale it up a bit so it's a really big light that lights the whole area, and give this a nice blue color. So somewhere around there. Can't see much at the moment because the power's very low for the size of our scene, so I can up this a little bit, up the strength, maybe have it coming from an angle. You can type in numbers into this as well, and you can of course vary the brightness of the color, and that does affect the power as well. Okay, so at this point you can tinker around with your textures and your lights and find a fun camera position. So let's look through the camera. So 0 on my numpad for camera view. It's in completely the wrong place at the moment, so try and think about how you can move the camera as if it's a viewport. So we press N to bring up this menu, view, and then lock camera to view. Now I can start thinking about where I want my scene. Maybe turn the overlays off for this. Maybe something around here. It's tricky. Do I want my man to be the main character or the monster? And of course you can edit your characters, edit the shape, and tinker a lot for your final render. To render out, we can either go to render, render image. Got our nice scene there, and it was almost instant because we're using eevee. Or remember, the shortcut key is F12. And then we can go up to image and save your image. So this is what mine looks like with a bit of tinkering of the settings, and I'll just run you through some of those. Under the render properties just here, I've got ambient occlusion turned on, but it really doesn't make much difference. Bloom, I've put the intensity down a bit so you can see without bloom and with bloom, and there's the intensity just there. I've turned screen space reflections on, but again it makes very little difference because there's not a lot of reflectivity in the scene. The other thing that's slightly useful is volumetrics. You can get more detail with the tile size, bringing it down to 4 or 2, but again in my scene if I change it, it's not making a huge amount of difference really. Volumetric shadows does give a bit more fall off to the lights. Again, not a lot of difference. What does make a bigger difference if I scroll down to the bottom is the color management. There's a look option here, and you can change this to medium contrast, which sort of flattens it out a bit. And that's quite good if you want to edit your image in something like an image editing program such as Photoshop, or you can just change it here to something like high contrast to give it that atmospheric feel. Lastly, if I bring out this window over here, I have just changed my file browser across to another 3D viewport, which you can do, so I can turn the overlays off in my render and then select things in this scene. For most of the lights, if I select one and choose the light setting, I've given them quite a lot of power, so 3000 watts. Same with the torch, that's 3000 watts. But I've also put a couple of extra lights, a sunlight here. It's a bit like an area light, but it doesn't have an end to it. So it's a nice simple light to use, and that's just to give my whole scene a bit more of a bluey tinge as if it's moonlight. So there's one there and one the other side of my scene as well. I've given that a greenish look just to make it look a little bit more interesting. And I put my big area light up a bit and made it a bit smaller, which intensifies the shadows a bit. It's worth saying that the area, spot and point lights all have a wattage, whereas the sun, if I choose one of those, it just has a value, and you set the sun much lower. The last thing I've changed, if I go to my shader editor here and change it to world, I've set the background to black. By default it's a sort of grey somewhere around here, so you'll want to change that to black to create more atmosphere. So those are all the minor changes that I've made, and it's good to tinker with these things and play around with the settings and see what you come up with. So that concludes this course. If you want to know how to do the rotating camera, then check out my other tutorial in my quick tips playlist. To take this further, you might want to take one of my courses for low poly modeling, or the bigger courses like the character creator, or look at the playlist on this channel or my website for other free courses like this that can develop your skills from this point. Thanks for watching and happy creating.